you all sleep on humming, and I hope you are enjoying the Gaining Fast on Memphis podcast. Check it out and stream my music. Band for it.
Welcome to the Gainin' Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver, brought to you by Arlo Revolution. Each week, Aaron connects melodies and memories with fans and artists from all genres of life. When all else in life is gone, only music will be left to leave the legacy of life's adventures. Please welcome your host for the Gainin' Fast on Memphis podcast, Aaron Shriver.
We gotta get him to re-record that.
What?
We gotta get JC to re-record that. It reminds me, I need to reach out to JC.
Yeah, he's back. We need to check in on him.
His father passed away.
Oh, he did.
I just saw that the other day.
Oh,
I
that makes me sad.
It's a bad way to start off the show, but hey guys,
welcome.
Welcome to the show. If you guys are in the chat, drop where you guys are listening to, or listening from. We're gonna go ahead and test out the sound, make sure everything is sounding good. I'm excited for tonight. I'm ready. So I don't know why I'm ramped up for this show tonight. So yeah, man. I got to send a message to JC now. You all right?
Yep.
Everything sounding good?
Yep. So I have this inability to isolate sound, so I have to focus on my right ear. I'm good. You sound good.
Is that part how you're deaf in one ear? You could do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is this your superpower?
Yes.
Love it.
I'm just selective. That's all.
All right.
No, we're good to go.
All right, y'all. Well, if you're in the chat, hit share if you can. Drop us some likes, some hearts, whatever you can do. We're going to have a fun one tonight. I'm just excited for this show tonight.
It's a Monday night.
Yeah,
it's exciting.
This Monday. We got a show tomorrow night, too.
Yeah, we're playing catch up. Everybody's been so busy. We've had to reschedule a ton of shows.
We got to cut tomorrow night show a little short, too. No after show, and he's not going to play. So, quick show tomorrow night. Someone just knocked on the door.
It's a ghost.
I swear to God, this house is haunted.
Let's not go there. This is not that show. This is not.
We'll talk more at the end of this show.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about hauntings right now.
We might actually be.
You and your Ghostbuster shirt.
Oh, dude. See, this is what I always think was weird. I mean, we'll start the show here in a second. But so we were just in New York on this long road trip. We went to Tribeca. It's in Ghostbusters headquarters, which old firehouse, and like 5 minutes away was tonight's guest, and it was cool. We didn't.
No, we were on such a tight schedule. I wish we could have connected, but we were. Aaron was like, I didn't
even know I was wearing the shirt. I didn't even plan to wear the shirt. I was like, oh, I'll wear my Ghostbusters shirt, whatever. All right, y'all.
Let's roll.
You ready?
Let's roll.
That bored about me, it's driving me crazy. All right. Hello and welcome everyone to season 5 of the Gaining Fast on Memphis podcast, a place where we connect melodies and memories with fans, artists, and passionate driven individuals in and around the music community. I'm your host, Aaron Shriver.
And I'm your co-host, Jillian Shriver.
Our mission tonight is to provide a platform for passionate singer-songwriters, motivated fans, or just someone who's making a difference in the world and is willing to share their stories. We hope everyone listening leaves inspired with a positive outlook on life and begins connecting their own memories with melodies. Tonight we are presented by our good friends at Arlo Revolution, cinematic wedding films, music videos, and promos. Find them at arlorevolution.com. One Tree Planted. For every 1,000 downloads of our show, we plant a tree with One Tree Planted. Download the show today on your favorite podcast apps. And our good friends at Poddex. Poddex are the hottest tool to get your next great interview, unique interview, questions in the palm of your hand. On our screen sponsors are Art on Highwire by Joelle, original custom artwork, inspired by your life moments, treasured photos, and memories. And my good buddy, Corey Oliphant, the original church choir. We're honored to have them and the OC as a sponsor each and every week. So if you guys are listening, or if you are enjoy listening and looking for ways to support or sponsor the show, head over to our Patreon page. We have opportunities for on-air and on-screen sponsorships. Just tons of fun stuff over there. I don't know what's going on over there. It's a Royal Rumble night at the Shriver household. Sorry, y'all. If you guys hear like some background noise tonight, it's definitely coming from
and I'm like getting dripped on. I don't know where this water is coming from, but I keep getting a drop on my forehead every
Hey, so we're talking about that Patreon page, so we're right?
We need help, y'all. We need help. Our floors are squeaking and our ceiling's leaking.
That is funny. One day you're gonna see there's a foot just dangling down. The bathtub's gonna fall
I promise
down.
we'll get started.
Yeah, right. It's been a fun night though. So, but yeah, if you guys are looking for ways to help support the show or help grow the show, head over to our Patreon page. Tiers start at just $1. If you sign up for a full year, you get 2 months for free. So that's literally $10 a year, and you'll get some kind of bonus content over there on Patreon. So, but Patreon is something you can't do. Definitely look for us on all the podcast apps. Like, share, review, and subscribe anywhere you can, especially any 5-star reviews. And then always our Instagram and our website. So busy. Tons of stuff everywhere. Thanksgiving week. So I hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving. If I don't mention that later, I'm actually thinking about it now. So I hope everybody has a good holiday week, good Thanksgiving with family, friends, and everything else this week. It's going to be a crazy, busy week, but we're ready. So tonight is going to be a fun show. I'm a little more relaxed because I don't have an artist on that I am all nerve-wracked over or anything else. And it's nice to have a break from that every now and then. But I've been following this guy, our host, his work for a while now. Remember Country Music Podcast is a really cool podcast I've been listening to. Some of my favorites have been on there. We're going to talk about that. But it was cool what he did with this TikTok that really got me interested with Kyle. And I I got to talk with this guy. But tonight we're going to welcome in podcast host and country music fan Kyle Corbliss. Kyle is the host of the Remember Country Music Podcast and has built a strong following on the app TikTok. And he's also someone who has a damn good taste and ear for music. So I'm honored to discuss the melodies and memories that make up his journey. So we're going to go ahead and welcome in Kyle Corbliss. Tongue twisters tonight. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys? How are we?
I'm like, we'll get you on eventually. Sorry for all rambling.
It's all right, as long as no water drifts into the basement.
Dude.
We sound like we're in a hot mess, don't
Well,
we?
I was doing it last
That's the
week,
beauty
and
of doing it
yeah.
live, though, with kids and, everything else.
And then when you listen back to it in like 2 days on like
We'll
the
cut it all
apps,
out.
It's all edited. It sounds awesome.
No one's got to know. No one's got to know.
So what's up, man? Thank you so much for coming out tonight and hanging out with me. I'm so excited for this one, dude. I know we talked a long time ago having you on, but dude, I want to talk about your journey. Look at this guy, this stud right here. We got some good pictures.
I gotta say something. So this picture is 2016. The picture you had in the intro, my hair was down to my shoulders. You got night and day going on.
Oh, dude, I'm thinking I got some pictures that go way back when.
I bet you
I
do.
always like digging, man. I like digging and showing the journey of somebody. So I'm gonna start it off like I do every other week, dude. I want to know your earliest music memory. What kind of got you into the music industry? Not in the industry, but just like listening to something good. Like, what was your parents listening to around the house, and maybe a first concert experience you had?
Yeah. So I grew up around. I think like most people, you're kind of a product of what your parents listen to, right? So like my dad always, growing up, my dad always listened to a lot of classic rock. I grew up around Bruce Springsteen, the Beatles, CCR, Seeger, even a little bit of Elvis, a ton of stuff. There's a ton of stuff there. And then, I think as you get older, you kind of morph what you like. But then again, sometimes what you really like isn't cool and it's not what your friends are listening to. So you kind of force yourself to like one thing and you turn around and you go the other way as you get a little older. But all classic rock all the time. I know that, growing up, my dad drove a 2006 Grand Cherokee, which later became my car. But the only CD that ever sat in that CD tape was Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run.
Hell yeah, man.
When I turned 17, got the car, that CD never came out. It's like one of those deals. So
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that, man. That definitely.
So that's what I grew up listening to, and that's kind of my whole deal.
So you were forced to listen to Bruce Springsteen and you loved it. I was forced to listen to you too, and I can't stand them. I don't know if you remember. You're probably a little too young, but back we had these things called iPods.
hey, I had an iPod. It was 1 gigabyte.
Yes.
But I don't even know if it was the iPod. It was the phone. There was 1 year that YouTube put their album on everybody's
They pushed
Apple
it to
device.
every device. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, it was.
You couldn't remove it. You couldn't take it off your device.
It's like,
What was it called? I forget what it was called, but it literally automatically downloaded.
Yes.
And
automatic on everything.
Oh, Aaron was mad. Oh, he was so mad.
I was like, if I like your music, I want to go download and everything else. Just don't force it on me. Like, and I know we're gonna talk, but being a host, having your own show, you probably get an inbox full of just like people. Hey, have this artist, that artist, and I love that. I mean, that's why I started the website. I have like a little thing now where you can click and fill out this thing. But it's like, I want to go to the artist. I want to have people that I enjoy on my show.
Mhm.
For you, when you start, I mean, I know we're jumping around now, but when you start booking for your show or looking for people for your show, are you doing the same thing, or you just kind of just what's your process?
You know, dude, at first it was all just me reaching. It was me going to them. And that's partially probably because no one knew who I was nor wanted to come to me at all. So, you know, that was probably part of it too. But now I think it's a little bit of both. For the most part, I reach out, and if someone comes across my inbox, and the one thing that I stand behind, that if you need to know anything about me, is like the reason why I started this thing is because I love music, right? And so for the most part, the people that I talk to, it's because for the whole part, people that I talk to, it's because I love their music. You know, I truly believe if I love their music and I like who they are as a person, that's going to be a great conversation. That's why we all do this, right? That's why we're all sitting here. So I think that's, you know, the biggest thing. And if someone comes across my inbox and they have one song out, and you know, I go to their one song, I listen to it, and I say, oh, this is awesome. There's potential here. Let's do it. And I might not have to know them before, but now they just gained a fan. So that's important for me.
I did the same thing, kind of. I think you and I probably had the same email. It's funny. There's one time there was my buddy Matt Burrell at In the Round podcast. Him and I both interviewed Stephen Wilson Jr. the same day, because I think the person that was booking for Stephen Wilson Jr. got him and I confused, and just like, oh, let's just book him the same day. And just ended up being Megan Knight, though. I got an email inbox from Megan Knight, and I was like, I have no clue who this is, but I wanted to be. So last season, when I did my end of the season writers round, I want to do that again this year, but it was really guy heavy. So I wanted this year to be a little female heavy. Mm-hmm. So I dug in, I listened to her one song. I was like, oh, dude, we got to have her. It was an awesome song. And I'm going to dig into your guy. I just saw that you had her just your last podcast. So I'm going to dig into that one now. But it's stuff like that is, I'll give you the one chance. And it kind of makes me think of back in the day when they would play like, love it or trash it or whatever like that with music. Like you listen to the first 10 seconds and yay or nay.
Yeah. It's the one thing I always say is like, if someone's going to give you one shot, you know, it doesn't matter who it is, like even like in career world, right? Someone's going to give you one shot. Do you want to hit them in the face with it, or do you want to kind of ease into it? So like Megan's a great example, right? You know, I just met Megan as well, and she's a New Jerseyan, and you know, I basically listened to her one song and was like,
was it My Drama that you listened to?
No, it was Hard Way to Go.
Oh.
And I listened to Hard Way to Go, and I was like, man, like hit me in the face.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's where she sold me on that. So
reminds me of Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash movie, where like, if you got one song, you're in the gutter. What song are you gonna hit them with? What song are you gonna sing? That was what Church had. He brought out Lightning back in the day. That was his one song, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what I say. Like if you're gonna give it one shot, you know, give it all you got in that one go. So that's where I sit.
I got this Eminem in the back of my head. If you got one shot, I'm just rolling. I told you I'm on fire and I'm loving it. What was your first concert, man? I know we just showed a picture of Garth, you and Luke. What was the first one you went to?
Rascal Flatts. Actually,
all right.
17. Yeah, it was like right. It was like right before my senior year.
Like 2 years ago now.
Sometimes I wish, but it was right before my senior year of high school, and I never saw a concert. That's about the time I kind of started really getting heavy into country music, and I started liking like kind of that pop sound that Rascal Flatts was doing. And you know, I saw them. Who opened for them? Let me try and remember here. I think it was Scotty McCreery. And then it might have just been Scotty. I think it was just Scotty and Rascal Flatts. But
I like early on Rascal Flatts. I mean, they kind of started losing me like 3 or 4 albums in. But like, I have like an old grungy white shirt from this Country Thunder signed by them all. I think when you and I first started dating, like one of our first concerts together, I think it was Rascal Flatts back in the day. Like, I mean, I enjoyed them, but then like, I don't know, I kind of lost interest and went a little south. Probably when they pissed Eric Church off. It's probably where I was like, oh, screw these guys.
That's a fantastic time to let them go.
Oh, I still remember, man. We saw him in Memphis the night that Eric was playing down the street, and it was Taylor Swift, Gary Allen, and Rascal Flatts, and we had him throwing a bunch of flyers for an Eric Church concert over the balcony at FedEx Forum, and just left and went and saw Eric Church on the street. We're like, all right, everybody go see Church later on.
That's
It was
funny.
all Eric
That's
Church
so
inspired.
funny.
So-
You probably got some crazy Eric Church stories.
Dude, I have a few, and I think I'm going to start early 2022. Start unleashing a few. Like, I'm thinking about doing something like Church Vault or something, either on TikTok or I don't know how I want to do it. But like, right before I interviewed Driver from ECB this year, like him and I were looking through a lot of my archives, almost of 18 years of Eric Church, if not more. And I was just like, I don't know whatever to do with it. He goes, one day someone's going to offer you a lot of money for all this. I'm like, I won't want to do that. Like, I want to share it now. So I'm going to try to figure out something, man. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's awesome.
just start with like the first show and just work my way through it all.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love it.
We're coming to Madison Square Garden. You coming too?
Okay. So I meant to tell you this. This was on my list of things I had to tell you today. So, I am going to go and try for Madison Square Garden, and I know you've seen Eric Church like 9 million times, so I'm not even going to, but I will say in about, 22nd, I think December 4th, which is a Saturday. I think it's Saturday. I will be seeing Eric Church for the first time in Long Island at the UBS Arena, which is the arena. And then I will hopefully be seeing him in May at the Garden.
Nice, dude. Well, definitely. I got to find out. I'll find out what pit we're in. I don't know which side we're in yet. But I'll have to find out and I'll let you know before you get tickets.
Absolutely.
We're bringing the kids to their first arena show for church. So
there you go. There you go. It's a hell of a first arena show.
I figured Madison Square Garden. We got him taken back to where he got fired.
That's right. There you go.
He's had a song.
You have no idea.
I don't know how I'm going to do it, but he had a song. It was only like 20-second clip, but it was called "Fired at the Garden," and he used to play it, and it was in the middle of like "How About You." And I was like, before he plays the Garden next year, I got to figure out how to blow this song up and just get those little video clips that I still have, enough to where he sees it and be like, dude, you got to play that song again. It's been years since you played it. It's just a 20-second clip.
How many times you see him live?
Dude, I don't have my thing. I'm coming up on 170.
Have you've written down every show?
I did. So I don't know what made me start. I just started on a piece of paper, but now I legit have a nice little spreadsheet that I've been working on, and I try to break my pictures down in per show and stuff. But yeah, I started doing that. I don't know why. I just kept on doing it, but it's wild.
That's so awesome.
Something told me, man. Something just told me just to start, and like all this stuff you see behind me, like it just told me not to throw nothing away. Like I saved everything. Like we're talking Rascal Flatts. I literally have a little sticker that's halfway burnt, and behind it there's a picture of me burning it. And we were just bored sitting in like waiting for Eric Church to go on stage one time, and just little things I kept.
That makes you sound so like
oh, it was just fun. Like I don't know.
Disgruntled.
No,
right? Like
he doesn't hold grudges.
Right, a little bit.
Probably 6 months after they just fired him from the tour, and
Right.
somebody's handing out Rascal Flatts promo stickers at an Eric Church concert. What do you think we're going to do with them?
I know. I'm just saying, the lay person that like doesn't know the history, you sound a little crazy.
Hey, we were. I mean, the church choir was called Rabid. So.
Yeah.
I think the correct word for crazy is just more passionate.
Passionate. There you go. He's definitely passionate.
If my friend Sue, I don't know if Sue's watching this. If Sue DiLorenzo is watching this or listening back, find Kyle in Long Island in December and make sure this guy has a hell of a show that night.
I will absolutely.
So she's been on the show. She's an amazing person, but I know she lives out that way. And if she's there,
sure she'll be there.
She'll show you a damn good time, man. She'll
Hell yeah.
where to go and what to do, and she'll be your little
Lay of the land.
Eric finds her anywhere she's at. Eric will find her.
Well, then it looks like I'm hanging near.
Yeah. Hanging with
I'll introduce you to Sue. So,
That's awesome. Sue, you got yourself a new. I'm gonna be your buddy. I'm gonna be walking around. If Eric's gonna find you, he's gonna find me too.
Yes,
There's no two ways around it.
So sorry, we're getting derailed. I knew this was gonna happen. That's why I was all excited. These rabbit holes. Let's get back to you, man, for a little bit. Get off Eric Church and all that other stuff, and let's just talk about your passion, because your passion, what I love about it is it took you to TikTok, and you have grown that thing. I mean, where's the numbers? I'm trying to look at my thing. 325,000 likes. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Dude, almost. I'm like, holy crap. And you land Clay Walker, one of the biggest names in country music.
Yeah, how amazing
because
is
of TikTok,
that?
dude?
It's awesome.
It's just crazy. And I mean, honestly, how many pairs of underwear did you go through when you saw that deal?
Let's just say I spent a lot of time at Marshall's that day. I had to buy all new ones.
Yes.
Where were you when you first looked at your TikTok and saw that Clay Walker duetted your video?
You bet your ass I know exactly where I was. Can I tell you the whole?
I want to know.
Tell us the story.
It makes me think of like an artist the first time they hear their song on the radio. That's kind of what it makes me think of for you.
I know. I can give you the whole lowdown. It's going to be a little bit long-winded.
Do it.
Go for it.
So what I did was, I'm sitting here, right? Like this is where I'm sitting, and this is where I made the original video. And that was when kind of the world was still a crapshoot, for lack of a better term. And I was just kind of doing a lot of hanging around, and I kind of started on this whole TikTok thing more or less as a joke, and then it started getting more and more fun, and I became more and more obsessed. So we're sitting here, and obviously scrolling through my For You page like anyone else, you see a ton of people, and I follow a ton of music people. So I noticed that Clay was on there, and I noticed that Clay was responding to people and duetting people and talking. And I was like, wow. And obviously I love Clay, like most people probably do. But if you're a 90s country fan, even now. But so I was like, hey, it's worth a shot. Like, this app is crazy. Why don't I just say something and just see if it works? Because if these people are getting on Clay's For You page, or if anyone's getting on Clay's For You page, who says I can't, right? Yeah. So I basically said, hey, Clay, like, I did the whole video. If you don't know the video, but basically all I said was, if this is for Clay Walker, and that picture's so old. This is for Clay Walker.
There's gonna be some old ones up here.
And if you're Clay Walker, stop scrolling. And I gave him the whole lowdown, right? And I let it sit. I think it got like 1,000 views, and it just kind of, a couple people tagged him, and then that was that. And I think a whole month went by, and we had this massive snowstorm here in New Jersey. And at the time, I was working at a jewelry store, and I went to my job, and I was kind of doing whatever I was doing, and it said Clay Walker liked your video, and it was that video, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I even have the screenshot somewhere in my phone that he liked the video. So he screenshotted it. That was cool. He didn't comment on anything. I was like, you know what, whatever, that's cool for me. So I was pretty ecstatic. So I moved on. The snowstorm comes, and I am wait, now I'm losing track. Yeah, okay. This snowstorm comes, and I'm shoveling, right? And wait, hold on. Now you're losing me for a second. I lost track of the story. Hold on.
You're all good.
Yeah. What happened is I'm at work. This is what happens. I'm at work, and Clay duets this video, right? And I didn't see it until I got to my car. And I get in my car, and I open the video up, and I saw that Clay duetted it. And I'm not kidding. I started screaming in my car.
Yeah.
Like, I was yelling at the top of my lungs, because I was like, oh my God, like, this guy that I've listened to for years liked my freaking video on TikTok, and he duetted it. And I was like, there's a chance here. But then I'm like, I don't know, 10,000 likes. That's a hell of a lot of likes.
Was it 25K? He said at first.
25K. That's what
I'm like 25K. Holy crap!
I was like, that's a lot. So then this is where the snowstorm comes in. So I'm shoveling during this snowstorm, and everyone was sharing this, and I was sharing it, and everyone was commenting. Music friends, just friends in general. All these random people I had never even met were just like, give them a chance. And I was like, whoa, this is wild. And basically, it was like a week went by, or a week and some change went by, and I basically commented on the video. I was like, listen, like, I know we might not get there. If you want to do it anyway, like, I won't let you down. Like, let me know. But because the thing on TikTok that sucks is you can't message someone unless
they're following you. Yeah.
So I had to just like take a risk in the comments and wish that he was going to see it. So I'm shoveling the snow, and I'm getting all these messages on my TikTok saying, like, you have a direct message, and me just being the idiot guy that I am, just think it's my friends just sending me stupid videos, right? So like an hour goes by, and I finally finish. I go inside, and Clay followed me on TikTok, and he messaged me and said, hey man, like, let's do it anyway. Like, shoot a message to this guy, and it was
dude.
Awesome. And, we sat down, and we did it, and the craziest thing is originally it was supposed to be like 15, maybe 20 minutes, because he was like pressed for time, and then he comes on the call and was like, let's just talk for as long as you want. So I think I talked to Clay for like 45 minutes on recording, about an hour and a half total, and one hell of a dude. And I'm proud to say that, you know, I still on occasion keep up with Clay here and there. And he's an awesome dude. He really is.
That's cool as hell, man. That's a cool story. I love that, man. I love little things like that because you just like, hey, what can I lose? What do I have to lose, really? I mean, let's just
all you can do is say no,
and
right?
see what happens.
That's right.
You got to put yourself out there. That's what I tell Aaron all the time. Put yourself out there. All they can do is say no.
I took his approach. I took his
just
approach
try
the
it.
other day. It was a Jack Ingram. I really want to try your app, Jack Ingram.
Oh, me too.
I haven't tried it yet, but it was his birthday. I shared it, and I put in the comments. I was like, hey, if you see this and you want to hop on the podcast some one time, shoot me a message or whatever. He liked it, but he never messaged or anything. So I'm like, because he has his own podcast going on, and I actually have his guitar player coming on in a couple weeks, so I'm pretty excited for that. But
that's your in, dude. That's your in.
Right? That's what I told him. Like, you do good, and they'll say, oh yeah, he's cool. He's not crazy. You know.
Isn't that the biggest thing? Don't you? I always worry about that because like if I have to if I Instagram DM, because I do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we'll shoot an Instagram DM.
Oh, I always try that first.
Right. And my purpose of that is I do it through my personal, because then they get to look on my personal page and go, oh, he's not an absolute lunatic. And then they sit down with me, they realize I am a little bit of a lunatic.
There's a little, I'm not going to say passionate, a little bit of passion, right? Not crazy passion.
Not crazy passion.
Crazy passion.
Well, I was trying to get, there was one guy I was trying to get, even though I got the denial. They're like, well, we'll contact you in 2022 and see today. But I would have been trying to get this person. I'm a huge fan of his. And I'm like, I want to get him on the podcast. I just couldn't get a hold of him anyway. And then all of a sudden, I told Jillian, I was like,
oh my God, hilarious.
I was like, dude, maybe I would just be awesome if I just get a sign out of nowhere. And there's this contact me now. And I literally go to this dude's YouTube page. Oh, that was weird. Oh, that's all good. I was like, what was that? My board's going to blow up. I go to this YouTube page, and it literally says, contact me now on a phone number. And I started laughing because you always see those phone numbers. And then it says, oh, I really checked this. I'm like, bullshit. So I text this phone number, and I was like, hey, huge fan. I'd love to have you on the podcast sometime. And dude replies back a text message with his manager's email.
And he'd been trying for months to find a contact for this guy. And
that's all he needed?
It's all he just put his phone number out there, and Aaron was like, oh, what the heck? Let me text this number and see if this is for real.
I didn't think it was for real. Even though they said, hey, we'll push you back to 2022. I'm like, that's fine. We'll do whatever. Come on next season. I'm slowing down, but it's Nate Smith. That's one of my dude's blowing it up right now, man.
His new song, right? Wait, he just put out a new song, yeah?
Yeah.
That song's crazy.
Oh my God!
I think he's busy.
Oh,
is what he's exactly what they said. I think he's getting super busy.
We are slammed well into 2022.
Yeah.
I said, here's my season 6 schedule. I haven't started booking it yet, but this is what it's looking like. It starts in April. Let me know what you're thinking.
He's got to be busy. That new song. Yeah. I played that song for my girlfriend, and she was like, wow. And I was like, yeah, wow. I was right. Like, this song's, it's his vocals. It's his vocals that just absolutely hone you in.
Under my skin, dude. When I first heard that, I was like, dude, this song. And just, yeah, his, like he said, and honestly, he reminds me of your second guest you ever had, Larry Fleet, who's blowing up right now, dude. One of my favorite interviews you've done. But tell me about talking to someone like Larry Fleet, and now he's having this huge success too.
That is so cool for the sole purpose that it's just kind of cool that I went digging and then happened to stumble across this guy that, has an insane story, and, he's getting the recognition that he deserves. Larry's awesome. And Larry, I can't even put into words how he's just a great guy, and how, I don't know if you know his whole story, but he basically, he's in his late 30s, mid to late 30s, and in his 20s he gave music a shot, and it wasn't really working for him. He got a really, really good job after that, kind of just started playing music for fun on the side on the weekends, and as he likes to say, he plays for beer, he plays for money. That's kind of what he did. And one day he went to a wedding. Someone gave him a heads up that Jake Owen might be at that wedding. Jake Owen was at that wedding. He said, "Hey man, come on tour with me." And Larry's like, I mean, all right. So Larry goes on tour with Jake, and Jake goes, "You quit that job yet?" And he said, "No." And he goes, "Well, you should." And then he goes, "Well, stay on with me for this long. At the end, you tell me if you quit that job." He ends up quitting the job. Larry Fleet becomes Larry Fleet, and the rest is history. And
Awesome, dude.
He's just this one dude that I think has an insane voice. And there's nothing else to Larry than, a guitar, some lyrics, and a ridiculous voice. And that's pure talent. So it was awesome that, I got lucky with Larry and it kind of jump started this whole thing.
I love that too, dude.
I was straight up with Larry. I was straight up with him, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's what, honestly, I'm the same way when I'm inviting people. Like, yeah, honestly, I don't want to seem like a fangirl half the time, but you almost got to be like, hey, I'm a big fan of yours, and this is why I'm a fan of yours, and why I would love just to have you on the show. And
exactly.
And it's been people I've followed for years or anything like that. A couple of other people you've had on that just blown me away. Another one I want to get on my show, Ian Munsick, dude. I definitely want to get him on soon. I love this guy. Ken and Brian, dude. I love, man. Favorite of mine, Rob Schneider. We talked about Larry Fleet, Jordan Fletcher, Warren Ziders, dude. Tell me about having him on. That dude just seems wild, man.
Warren is absolutely wild. Warren has become a good friend of mine. And Warren, basically, he is so talented, and he's still trying to figure it all out. You know what I mean? Like he just graduated college. He just kind of started singing just because he wanted to, and I don't think he really even knew. I remember what did he say to me that one time? The only reason why he started singing in front of people was because, like, I guess he was at a restaurant, and this girl from his town was singing at a restaurant bar kind of place. And like his mom told her that he can sing, and she invited him up, and he started singing. Like he can sing, and he just didn't, like, all the other things are coming as it goes. And obviously he's had great success on TikTok, and he's put out some really, really, really great songs as of recent. And he was just fun to be around and fun to hang out with. And, the amount of success that I've seen him getting after that one original song is awesome. And I remember when that song was going to come out, I think he's like in the 1 million follower range right now for TikTok. But when I think before he put that song out, he had a few thousand. By few, I mean like a few tens of thousands. And I think I shot him a message, and I was like, "Hey man, like, when this song comes out, after it comes out, let's talk." And he said, "Sounds good." So I think that was like a month before the song came out. We waited, and then a month after, I shot him a message. I said, "You want to do it?" And he said, "Yeah." And we did it. And it was fun, and it was a good time. And it's really cool to see people like working hard and kind of doing their thing, and then eventually getting that recognition, whether that be at a big scale or a smaller scale. But either way, the recognition.
Look at behind me. Look at this story behind me, dude.
If anyone knows that, it's you.
I mean, I don't just got lucky. Went to a Leonard Skinner show, and the very first act was Eric Church. Second was Jason Aldean. I think Aldean just had Hicktown on the radio. Oh, yeah. Eric might have had How About You on the radio at the time, but it was just insane, man. Did you ever, I mean, I know you're a lot younger than I am, but did you ever think an app called TikTok would change the game for music or for podcast hosts or anything else?
Not in the slightest bit. I hated TikTok for a while.
Same. I got addicted to it because of her.
Yes. It's always someone else that passes along the bug, and then you hop on this TikTok train, and it's just an obsession from there. I mean, obviously, like when I was in middle school, Vine was a really big deal. Mm-hmm. And, and TikTok was kind of, following suit from that Vine. But, I during the quarantine is when that first all started in 2020. I was bored. And, me and my brother and my sister were messing around, and I started posting these videos, and none of them were country music related at first. I've since taken them down and posted only country music related stuff because that seemed to work. And that was stuff that I liked to like. That was fun for me. Just like, little things here and there. But the way TikTok is I always say this, is that the way TikTok has helped out musicians and songwriters and people like that is amazing. I mean,
it's given a platform, man.
Yeah. And like some of these, and the crazy thing too, is like some of these people have been cutting their teeth playing music for years,
Mhm.
but now just
Yeah.
everyone knows them because they got one big break, which is awesome.
Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Even though he's got to sing a song about dicks the rest of his life, but it's like, I mean, that one song changed the game for him because now he's able to play his original music instead of playing 3 hours of covers. He's playing 90 minutes of originals, and it's because of TikTok that he can do that.
That platform gives them. Yeah.
It's because of TikTok. You could be like, dude, I interviewed Clay freaking Walker.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like this app that we all thought was stupid for a while, and it's just like it's got the algorithm is crazy. That is 100% true. The algorithm on TikTok is nuts.
I don't understand.
But if it works out, it works, and that's just how it is. I mean, you're right. Like Jillian, you're right. Or you guys, what you guys were saying about Trey Lewis, 100% right.
Yeah.
You gotta just kind of do it, and we can say that about any app though, if you think about it, because I'm going to use it as an example because I know you've talked to him, like a Ray Fulcher, right? Ray Fulcher is now tipping into the artist scene. People are starting to know Ray, even if you're not a diehard country music fan. People are knowing Ray, but people like us have known Ray for years. So it's that kind of deal. So I think that TikTok is great. Yep. I think that it's helped a lot of people out, a lot of people.
I'm glad you brought Ray up because it's going to go into my next topic.
And I think that it's a great app. I don't know what the kind of longevity it's going to have, but I think that for now it's helping a lot of people out and it's fantastic. And
it'll be around to the next TikTok comes around, the next greatest thing or whatever. That's right. Like Instagram's trying with Reels and everybody's trying to do. Facebook has podcasts now. Everybody's trying to hone in on their own thing in a little bit, but we'll see what happens. You mentioned Ray Fulcher, which I love the guy to death. A hell of a songwriter, hell of a performer too. But sometimes not the best a singer in some part, but I think that about Eric Church as well. And it's the way they deliver it. Songwriters in general, though, we're seeing more and more and more of lately, and less of, I call them the karaoke singers, but the Tim McGraws and the Kenny Chesneys in a way that it would just kind of find their favorite songwriters and just let them write for them type thing. Do you think that's definitely going to be the way country music's going? And do you think people like Church have paved that way, or
I love this.
You like that? Yeah. I mean, what do you think about it?
I think that I think that honestly, the days of being able to just cut songs without even considering writing a single song. I don't mean you have to write every song.
No,
that's not what I mean. But I think the days of an artist not being able to write songs for other people and or themselves are over. I think I love Jason Aldean. I think a lot of people do, but Jason Aldean doesn't write, right? So I think that you kind of need to be a jack of all trades in this industry now. And I think it's for the sole purpose of people like Church and Ashley McBride and Ray and even Eric Dillon. Eric Dillon's great too, right? So
he's coming on in a couple weeks too.
I can see that. Yeah,
I cannot wait. But and what I like about it is they might not be the best singers. Chris Christopher
doesn't matter.
Many times it was one of the worst singers you ever heard in your life. But the way you deliver the song, and sometimes
Bob Dylan.
Dude, the mood you're in, you don't want him to be the best singer. I mean, Jamie Johnson, he could sing, but there's times where he'll just get raspy as hell and just let it out. And I love that, man. I think it's really gonna be. I think the independent artists and these songwriters are going to take over Nashville, and I like the way it's kind of headed too. I know for a while people were like, "Oh, country music's losing its thing because turning to pop country and this and that." I love it, man, because country music is just something that feels good. I mean, anything could be country music. Look at Nelly. He's doing country music now. So if you consider the Eagles in the 70s, they're country music. I mean, they're every song. Why do you think Vince Gill fits so well with them now?
100%. 100%. That's a great point, and because I'm a big Eagles guy, so that's a really good point. But
I love you and Eli Young, man. I love those guys, man.
Oh yeah, they're awesome dudes. Awesome dudes. Oh, that's a picture.
There we go.
That's awesome.
So that picture leads to my next question. I mean, before we wrap things up and move on to our sponsored section, but 2022, man, what do you think? Actually, before we hop into 2022, I want to ask one question because this is something I've been wanting to discuss with somebody for a while. Taylor Swift, re-recording all of her songs.
Yep.
I know, was it iHeart or somewhere? Who was there? Well, not iHeart. One of the record companies just kind of put a started adding 10 years onto their contract now, so people can't do this. Do you think we're going to see future of people re-recording their songs? Like, I know I'm a huge Tucker Bethard fan, and he had to pay a lot of money to get out of his record label. And then when he got out of it, he couldn't keep his originals. He couldn't keep his masters. He had to re-record all of his stuff if he wanted to. And now, same thing going on with Taylor. She was under the same record label that he was. But do you think we're going to see more of this down the road?
You know, I think it's a tough call because I think that I think we'll see it, but I think we'll see it in waves. I don't think we're going to see it often. But I think after Taylor kind of did that, you know, more and more people might follow suit if that's where they want to go. And I think that in the country music industry, especially, I think that there are a lot of people that, you know, make a very good living being an independent artist. And I think that, you know, some people may go record deal and that's okay. But some people want everything. They want it all. They want to hang on to it all. They want all the rights.
Control. Yep.
They want
right?
freedom. They want
freedom. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and so and I know this, and I know you guys know this too, that a lot of people are now doing. They're more doing it for the song than anything else. And if they want the freedom to write what they want, and necessarily don't want to necessarily write a upbeat, happy song, that's not necessarily what they want to do. So I think that we'll see more and more people possibly leaving and going independent and getting those rights back, and, you know, and re-recording things. But I don't think we're going to see it often. I think that the record label route and, you know, having them, you know, own part of your music is still a very real thing. So I think we'll see it because one person did it, and there are going to be more people that follow suit, just like, you know, Morgan Wallen putting out a double album and then other people following suit. So I think we'll see it trend-wise because it's okay now and it's not like the craziest thing in the world, but I don't think we'll see it too frequently, in my personal opinion.
I agree. I like it. I like the way it happened. I mean, I love Taylor's versions of everything that she's put out. It's awesome. Oh yeah, she could be her own self now. But
you know, it's kind of weird, and don't kill me for this. And my girlfriend, if she's listening, she'll kill me for this. But I don't love Taylor Swift. I don't. I love her songwriting. I'm just not a huge fan of her music. And it's not that I don't think she's good. I think she's phenomenal. It's just not my cup of tea. You know what I mean?
There's nothing in the middle with Taylor for me. I either love it or I don't.
Well, that's good. And like, that's how like one of my friends is with Eric Church. So I think it's like, it's very, you know,
I could see how some people just do not like, there's people that hate Church. I mean, mainly because like, all of his comments and Rolling Stones and whatever else, all for the stupidest reasons. But there's people also, oh, he can't sing this and that. I'm like, but dude, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I can connect with that. I don't know, but it's that people that I find people that cannot connect with Eric Church is like, all right, well, sorry.
It's hard to like, honestly, I feel like it's kind of hard to like them unless you connect with the songs.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that's what's cool about music, though, is that everybody connects in a certain way, and I think that's what songwriters are trying to do, right? They're not going to connect with everybody.
Well, and that's why, like, I think the choirs got along so well too, because a lot of us were people that went to these shows by ourselves, and we just met other people, which in this fan club with life. I mean, we all already had we all like the same type of music going into it. So we already had one thing in common. So everybody just kind of ran with that. And that was kind of cool because then we started doing things outside of going to see a concert. Like we do other things as just a fan club. I love this because this picture of Noah, dude. Like I remember Noah when I have a picture with, she's probably 5 years old.
God,
in the picture
she's
of you and her.
now.
Yeah,
she was a baby.
That's Noah Cyrus.
That doesn't even look like her.
Awesome.
If I find out, I'll send you. I have a picture of Jillian and Billy Ray and Noah. She's like 5 or 6.
She was a baby.
That's so funny. That's awesome. Yeah. She was really cool. Really, really cool.
She's the one that I sent that picture. I have the same picture of me, Billy Ray, and Noah, and I sent it to her on Instagram. I was like, dude, I'd love to have you on the show sometime. I never got a hold of her, but I was like, dude, I'm trying to at least get one Cyrus on the show, and then I'm hoping it becomes like a virus after that. I'm going to call it the Cyrus.
The Cyrus virus.
Of the show, man. I'm telling you.
I think you just came up with some new merch idea for that.
There you go.
If I get it, dude, I got pictures of all of them, dude, from like Billy Ray's 40th birthday. He just turned 60, so these are 20 years ago. Pictures. That was I want to say my first love was Billy Ray. Well, it was my mom's, and then put it onto mine. Craziest thing.
Harry's got. Let's be honest.
Yeah, craziest thing. And then we'll get ready to wrap everything up. Billy Ray Cyrus's guitar player back in the day. This guy MJ was probably one I always talked to. I was like 14, 15 years old, always talking to this guy, hanging out with him, whatever, 16. And one time I'm at this church show in like 2008, and all of a sudden he's playing mandolin or whatever for Eric Church or banjo because Jeff Hyde's getting married that weekend. It's like, dude, what are you doing here? This is such a freaking small world. And the night church gave me this guitar. Dude was right there. He became Eric Church's guitar tech. And still to this day, he brings Eric Church all of his guitars. You'll see this great guy with this gray beard bringing Church's guitars. That's Michael Joe from Billy Ray Cyrus's band. And I'm like,
that's awesome.
Talk about small world and full circle things.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Wow.
Oh. All right, man. Before we go on to our sponsor stuff, 2022. I wrote down here, why is it the year of Morgan Wallen? But his ticket sales are unlike anything we've seen. Who else do you think is going to have a big year next year? I know. I really think if we did a 2022 Mount Rushmore, I mean, you're going to see Wallen, Combs, Church. I mean, who else do you think is going to just blow up next year?
I mean, it's wild because I feel like now with the fact that, you know, all these live shows are coming back, everyone is just, you know, kind of biting. Everyone's hungry for more.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to see a lot, but I think like a Jameson Rogers, I honestly think he's going to just have a huge year. And I think he's obviously, you know, more of a middle tier name, if that's even what you want to call it. The guy's huge, but I think he'll have a huge year. In terms of ticket sales, I'm telling you, I think anyone wants anything. Stapleton's probably selling out right now. I know he sold out the Garden. The way Luke Combs is doing that whole stage thing,
dude,
that's fun show. You see that whole thing? That's crazy. That's like very Garth-like too. So that's really, really cool.
Did you see Churches?
I know.
The one I'm gonna like, if you watch, well, he just did a podcast about it, but his first stage for the first couple of weeks, he hated it. He couldn't stand it. And then they got to, I think, Pennsylvania, and they made everything was all floor, and it's mainly because Eric loaded in a new stage and they're trying to figure it out. And now he has this brand new stage that's lower to the ground. I'm like, dude, I cannot wait to see the new stage set up. So let me know how it is in December.
I will. I'll shoot you a text. 2 weeks. I can't wait. It's like 2 weeks.
I know my wife saw a picture. She's like flipping through. She goes, "Is he on stage?" Like shows me this picture. I'm like, "No, that's just the way they designed it now." It's like that's just the way everything's is. I'm like
level.
That's so awesome.
That's cool.
So
that's so awesome. You know who I think might just absolutely, I mean, or someone I want to catch a show on. But you know what I find crazy, that I went to go see, or I had plans to go see Dirks in Jersey. And I actually ended up getting COVID, but and I couldn't go. But Parker McCollum was supposed to be there, and I think the fact that Parker McCollum isn't doing his own tour and hitting the Northeast, I think that's crazy because
he just blew up Chicago these last 2 days.
Exactly, and I find it wild.
And then Milwaukee, 3 nights in a row right here. My buddies actually, I just found out driving his bus. I was like, what? But dude, honestly, I don't know. This guy's blowing up.
Yeah, I think.
I think that it's funny because I say this, and unfortunately, New York and New Jersey just lost their only country radio station.
I saw that, dude.
And it got cut, and it's a problem because the way I see it is that although there aren't many people like me up here, like I'm going to be honest, like I think if I walk in a room and everyone says what kind of music you listen to, I'm going to be the only one that listens to country music to this, you know, capacity. But I think that the fact that Parker McCollum isn't coming up north and just absolutely, because he'd sell out. I promise you, he'd sell out. And so I think that if that happens, he has a huge year in sales, and I think that it would be crazy. And you know, if someone knows Parker, get him up north.
Right. We were this summer. We were at Country Thunder in Wisconsin. I try at least. Well, before I'd go for like a day here and there, but I think this year I'm going to be going to multiple Country Thunders for multiple days, which sucks. But it sucks, but it's good too. I just don't like the heat, and it's just miserable at times.
Oh yeah, me either.
But Jillian just bought our youngest this cowboy hat. This really cool cowboy hat. He's walking around. This girl is probably 14, 15 years old. Walks up and she gives him a Parker McCollum meet and greet pass. And so my wife and him got to go back and meet Parker and get their picture with him. I got the picture somewhere. I'll send you that in the Noah picture if I remember.
So Aaron, did you get to go?
I opted out because
you got the short end.
It was me and him me and Avery.
Who was I there? Was that?
It was Neil McCoy.
Neil McCoy. All right, so
I really wanted to see.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I was
Parker
there.
McCollum
I
is
was
cool,
kind of
but
doing media.
I would have
for it,
rather
and
seen Neil McCoy. We should have swapped.
wanted to get
But
some
I took
video and
part.
stuff.
Yeah, I did the meet and greet, and Aaron went and saw Neil
Guys,
McCoy.
no one called me. I would have went.
I know.
Then I'm like, would you give him a card or anything? I tell him about the podcast? No. I'm over here like the entire time. Like Cameron Marlowe's there, and he's one that I really want to get on the show. I know he was on yours too. I'm like, I gotta get Cameron Marlowe on. I'm like, all right, I see him walking by. I'm like, I'm not gonna ask him yet. I'm gonna meet him first, and then I'll ask him. Like, I'm always weird like that because if I'm at a show or am I doing media somewhere, I'm there for like a certain artist. I want to be there for them.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be like this year. Country Thunder Church was there on opening night or the first night we were there. And just because I had all access, I could go backstage and this and that. And the next day I was there to interview Ashton Kraft. So I had nothing to be, I had no reason to be backstage Friday night. So I stayed long away from it. I did go to the sound booth and like take some cool pictures and stuff. But I was like, awesome. I don't want to be in the wrong place, man.
I know you don't want to piss anyone off.
Yeah,
and get your access the next day. So I mean,
yeah, you won't play by the book because you're getting these opportunities, really cool opportunities at time to do really cool things. So
yeah. You know what's funny is when I do work stuff, and I was actually at a hip hop and rap concert last night for work, and I get all access to obviously, and I walk around and I have like a radio on that's like a kind of like a cop walkie basically, and I walk around and I have my credential on, but I hate putting it around my neck, so I go through my belt loop, which is like the typical like I feel like I'm too cool for it, but I walked through the concourse and I just walk through, and then, I just think I'm like the coolest man on planet Earth. And then it comes time for me to go anywhere near the stage. And I'm like, and I'm just going to go back outside. I'm okay. I don't need to be, I'm not trying to be like stepping on anyone's toes, getting in the way. I just want to stay in the corner. So I just
Funny story. It actually was when I was working for radio. When I got out of I did radio TV broadcast for a while. I was working for the hip hop was B96 in Chicago, and this is actually where I met one of my ex-girlfriends. I like to think about it. We went and it was at Joliet, Illinois. It was an old raceway. NSYNC played, and this is at the height of their career in like probably 2001 or whatever. And I had the all access. I had the radio and this and that. And that's how I ended up meeting my ex-girlfriend because she just wanted to go backstage. I'm like, I can't get you access to them. I can get you backstage. Come on. I'm like, I'm the radio guy. I can just get you as far as I can get. But hey, whatever.
Yeah.
We updated for a few months after that. But.
Did you save all your did you save in like all of your credentials? Or
I have a few things. Like I just started now. Like I have the Country Thunder Media Pass. I hang in from here because that was like my first. Ever since I did the podcast, that was my first media pass with the podcast. All my oldest stuff. I don't know. My parents are starting to slowly bring boxes and totes of stuff from their house to my house.
They sneak them in the garage.
Yeah, we were trying to.
I'm like, oh, here's a tote of Halloween decorations. Oh no, it's Aaron's
stuff from like middle school.
He's like, he's wearing a Superman costume from when he was 8.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, then there's stuff I open there, and it's like a poem to my grandfather, like a week before he dies. Yeah. I'm like, I can't put this away.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of really cool stuff in there that I gotta go through. But I was like,
you have some stuff from radio. You have your what was that? What's it called when you do a demo?
Oh my god, dude! I got my.
Do you have a demo? He has a demo.
Tape, yeah, you always laugh. I'm like, O-Town's coming to our town.
Yeah, he says O-Town is coming to our town.
It's on.
You sound like you're 16 years old.
I got my radio demo from when I'm on CD when I was like, 18, 19 years old.
I have a couple of mine too, and they don't leave my hard drive.
They were like 2 weeks ago,
right?
That's a good point. I got a couple from 2 weeks ago, and then a couple. I went through this weird thing in college where I like tried to figure out a radio name, and I like made one up. We're not going to broadcast what it is because I don't.
I was I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours.
Well, it's not bad. Okay, I'll tell you. It's all right. So my last name's Corbliss, obviously. So one of the dudes I was working with was like, you got to think of a name, and I was like, well, what's the matter with Kyle? And he's like, there's a million Kyles on this planet, and I was like, all right, fine. So I went by the name Corby for like literally a week. Corby, right? Corby, and that was actually like my dad's nickname in high school. So I was like, oh, this is a cool idea, right? So I did it for like a couple of demos, and I ended up like posting those demos as like little reels on Instagram before reels were reels, and I got absolutely torn apart by all of my friends.
Really? I think it's
They
cool.
ripped me apart because, like, in a friend way, they're like, it's really not that bad, but like we have to make fun of you.
Yeah.
We would have been a good duo because all my friends growing up called me Gremlin, so I went with Gizmo. So my
Gizmo and
I had a little
Gizmo.
Talk about a radio show. I think we have something on the horizon.
You do. I totally think you do.
That definitely could be a show.
There's some great merch if you think about it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, I love that. All right, so we're going to move on to our Powered by Pod Deck section of the night. I pulled a couple cards earlier to ask Kyle. The first one is, if you could have someone that is no longer with us guest on your podcast, who would it be, and what would be the main topic be? So someone that's passed on, could be a family member, could be a musician, could be anything. Who would you want to be on your podcast, and what would you guys talk about?
So when I was thinking about this, I kind of was stumped because it's probably two people.
Mm-hmm.
But, so one of them is definitely Keith Whitley. I think Keith Whitley is one of the best that there ever was, and I really am not really willing to have that debate because I just don't think that there is anyone better. My personal opinion. But when it came to what we want to talk to, I think that I just want to ask him, song wise, because Keith wrote, but Keith didn't always write. So song wise, some of his biggest hits like "Don't Close Your Eyes" and things like that. Like if you were to pick one of those songs, which one would you, which one would be your favorite? It's like picking your favorite kid. I know you can never ask someone that, but it's one of those things that when you're a guy who's got so many hits like that, and that is just so like captivating in terms of country music, it's just a cool thing to wonder about. And then the other one is I don't know how well you know Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, but Bruce had a saxophone player named Clarence Clemens, and the man could absolutely.
Did Toby Keith have a song about him?
Was
it? Did Toby Keith have a song about him, or was that somebody else? I'm thinking.
I actually don't know. That's a
Toby Keith. I know sang a song about. It might have been his saxophone player, though. I'll have to see.
I don't know. That's a really good question. I'd have to look.
Yeah,
but Clarence could blow the roof off of literally anything, and I think the coolest thing about Clarence is the fact that he wanted to be a pro football player. And then, him and Bruce met, and the rest is history. And it's like, how do you, I don't know. I feel like there's like this stigma that if you're an athlete, that's where you put all your focus on. And it's so like weird to think that someone could be so good at something else. So like, I would always want to ask him about his experiences and things like that, because I think Clarence is amazing. That's also part of the reason why I love Bruce. But
I love that because my cousin in West Virginia, Rob, he's a diehard Bruce Springsteen fan. And I've always told him, I'm like, dude, I got to take you to see Church, because I'm like, Church is definitely like, he's our Bruce Springsteen right now.
Thank God you just said that.
Dude,
I say that all the time. I tell people the way my dad talks about Bruce is the exact same way I'm going to talk to my kids about Church.
Yeah, because Church is not like, if I would put Church in a genre, it'd be a jam band. It would be kind of like your Americana jam band, like Grateful Dead, Pink Floyd, like those. Well, I don't even want to say Pink Floyd, but the bands that would always tour, like the guys like Pearl Jams, the people that you see at Red Rocks, the people that you see touring every summer, Kenny Chesney. I mean, I would throw him in that same group. Yeah. Just those road warriors that are always on, and they built their fan base from the road. They might not have success like on albums or whatever else, but they go and play a show, they're selling out, and they're playing B-sides more than they're playing their singles. I mean, Pearl Jam, you go and see them, you might not even hear live. Or Jeremy, I mean, you're like, what the hell are they even singing their two biggest hits?
That's sometimes. Right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I think that's another thing too, is I love deep cuts. I love deep cuts. And I always think about this, and I've actually had this conversation on my show before, is that, and I'm sure you guys have talked about this too, but pre-streaming, think about how you find deep cuts. You have to buy the album. I mean, that's just how it is. Like,
I'd read liner notes. I'd read the song lyrics.
Well, there you go.
Open up. Ooh, I gotta listen to that song.
That's true. But I mean, when I was, and I guess I'm gonna show my youngness here, but when I was a kid, I had CDs, right? Like most kids did, and I had a CD player. But I'm not reading, and most CDs, I don't even know if they even had song lyrics. But I'm just listening to the CD because it's some CD. Like, I'm not paying attention to what song I'm listening to. I didn't think that in depth at that time. But I think that it's crazy to think that like some of the what was my favorite church deep cut? You know, if I could think of church.
That's a hard one.
Oh man, I shouldn't even ask the question.
I don't know if I have to go like my favorite church song that wasn't a single. I have to go with "Can't Take It With You" just because of the whole.
I love that one line.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the show came about. I mean,
Oh yeah,
I
love that video. By the way, you know I love that video, right?
Which one?
When he's singing that the.
I have found so one day I went through down a rabbit hole on YouTube and just started looking at every single Gaining or Can't Take It With You video, and I'm up to about 20 shows where he's pointed it out. So like the one where he did the one on the album that's recorded, but like every time he would sing Gaining Fast in Memphis, he'd always point me out. I want to do something, but I'm up to 20 of them. I'm like, this is awesome.
that really is so cool. Like I when I saw that, I like geeked out. I was like, that's sick. I was like, what the heck? Like, that's just so awesome. And now every time I listen to that song, no matter who's in the car, I have to tell that story. I lower the song.
The Memphis one, the Memphis melody.
Yeah, I turned it down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is what this
I never knew that made it to recording. Like I like the night it happened, I just never put two and two together. I never thought about it. And then when I was listening to it, I'm like, wait, this is the part of the show where he like said something about me and BB King's. I'm like, holy shit, it's on the recording. It was one of those moments I was in the car and like, oh man, it's like you hear your single or whatever on the radio. You're like, dude, that's me he's talking about.
I know. That's so awesome. I think that's sick. If I have to think of my favorite church deep cut though, it's gonna be a probably an unpopular, but like Jesus does is like incredible.
I love it, man. So that one my mom and I danced at our wedding. That was our first dance, our last dance, whatever they call. And it was
last dance.
Yeah, well, it was.
Well, it wasn't the first dance. It was the mother son dance.
Yeah, but it was
the last dance.
You make it sound like
it's been our
he makes it sound like it's the Last Supper.
Yeah.
Right? It's not. It wasn't your last dance. It was just mother to son dance.
Yeah, whatever. But like I asked church before that, I was like, dude, this song. I was like, isn't it like a girlfriend or a wife or whatever will leave your ass? They ain't gonna stand on a runway waiting for you. I'm like, this song has to be about a mom or something, dude, because a mom's gonna stand on the runway and waiting for their kid or whatever else. But girlfriend and wife's gonna be like, no, you fucked up too many times, dude. I'm out. Like you don't find many that love you like Jesus, but your mom will always love you like that.
Oh yeah. So. Oh yeah. I think that's one of the first, honestly, in the weird way, that is one of the first church songs that I kind of fell in love with. It's like weird because it's just kind of one of those, middle album type songs. But then I went back to Carolina, and then that was a whole different story. Then I started becoming obsessed because you got like Where She Told Me to Go and things like that. And
I love that he keeps reinventing himself. Every album's been something different. He's gone a different route.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, it's awesome.
I was scared for this Heart and Soul album. I'm like, dude, he's just gonna. When I first started hearing these rock operas coming out of there, I'm like, dude, he's gonna pull a Queen Meatloaf type style, and he nailed it, man. So I don't know where he's gonna go from here. But
you have all those on vinyl, right? Don't you?
Yeah, I actually right behind. Well, the camera's still there. Right behind.
You have everything that he has on vinyl.
Yeah.
I think
so.
Yes, I think as of right now. So I have.
I hate you. I
have so many spreadsheets. I have one of the Springsteen 45s up here, still sealed, but that's the only one I have left of that has a
Don't
t-shirt.
You have like a Two Pink Lines?
No, that's not on vinyl. And then Record Year is the one that I spent a lot of money on, and that's like one song on one album.
Wow.
So
that's crazy. I'm still waiting for that. What do I have? All I have is literally and like the middle because. All right. Well. All right. Listen. When I joined the church choir for the sole purpose that I wanted and.
Oh yeah, dude.
And I joined it, and then I bought and, but I was like, I gotta wait on the other two because that's a lot of money for me to buy all three. I was like, I'm 23. I'm not rich, okay? So I'm like, I can't. Those other three, I can't do.
And dude's a marketing genius. Every damn color of the rainbow he comes out with.
I know. And then me and my girlfriend spent a lot of time at like record stores. That's like one of the things that we like to do. So, and I love vinyl, so I almost always come out with something. But we were in the car and we were going to this record store, and I said, Chris and I if I would stumble across Eric Church, I'd buy whatever they had. And I've never seen them in any stores. So I was like, we walk in, first crate is the Desperate Man record. So I was like, well, guess I got to buy it. So I bought it. So now I got those two, and then I'm working on the rest of them. So
nice,
Cool,
dude.
cool.
I'll have to add you. There's an Eric Church vinyl group on Facebook. I'll have to add you in that. That way you can keep up with it and everything else. We had a spreadsheet in there going for a while. Every damn thing. We had like UPC numbers, all this stuff.
Wow.
Dude, I'm telling you, we're rabid, dude. We're always looking for stuff.
Julian's like
We
obsessed.
have every record and every color that was ever printed.
I was telling Jillian, I was like, "But she asked me what I want for Christmas." I'm like, "Remember when we're going into Spencer's back in the day? And you go to the poster section, you flip through the posters, and I'm like, I want one of those like racks for my basement, so I can put all my church
all your
posters.
posters.
Finally, put all my posters on the wall and just be like tattoo stores. They would
And
have all the
flip through
tattoos
them.
that you could pick. Like just have these things that you can flip through. I went online.
Yeah,
They're
because
like
we have no
thousands of
wall
dollars.
space left.
I
Like,
can tell.
literally,
There's
no
room to
wall
move it.
space.
I can tell.
I stick stuff. Just all right. I'll find a hole here. It's always fun. It's funny because like someone asked me once, like, aren't you afraid like if people over here is just gonna go missing? I'm like, no, because this stuff is really worthless to some people. Like a lot of people. Like,
Yes,
this is stuff that like I've saved that like
over the years.
is like on a newspaper article or something like that, or something with my name on it or whatever. You know, it's like nothing that's really of value, but to me.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, that's the most important part because
yeah, man.
your basement looks so cool. What I can see, it looks so cool.
Glad to have you out here sometime, man. It's fun. Dude. I have a little Cubs wall, a little Bears wall.
Are you a bit? I was going to ask if you guys are big Cubs fans. I love the Cubs. Obviously, I'm
Got my Rizzo, man. I hope he stays with y'all for a while.
I've been saying the same thing. And I will say that Anthony Rizzo's been one of my favorite players in baseball for like the past like 5-6 years or so. When we got him, I was very excited.
Oh, I
And
cried the day it happened.
Yeah, you guys really went through it last trade.
Yeah.
We don't got to talk about
Dude,
that.
they
right?
literally knew how to break a Cubs fan heart. I mean, they literally knew how to
Traded
like,
away
just
that
break it and
whole-
rip it off
yeah.
and just traded the top
That's right.
four.
We don't have to circle back. I'm not trying to bring up any dark memories.
Yeah. It's a dark day in baseball history.
It was a trigger.
I think I saw
Totally just triggered Aaron.
I think I saw a thing on meme where I said the saddest day in Chicago history was a Friday.
Mhm.
It was like that. Like it was just something wild.
Crazy.
But yeah, man. We didn't get a chance. I want to go by Yankee Stadium to show the boys, but I think in May. I really hope. I haven't looked at this Yankee schedule yet, but I was hoping if there was a game around the 20th, I wanted to try to sneak over there and see a Yankees game or something.
Yeah, you should. Tickets are really expensive, but it's worth it.
Yeah, I know. It's just like
It's not Wrigley, and it's not even close to Wrigley, but you know, it's.
Well, the good thing about us trading all of our people away last year is you could get a Cubs ticket for $20 again.
That's true.
Yeah. Sit in the Blazers.
Well, you remember that Cubs game? Was it 2018 where they played the Yankees for 18 innings?
Mm-hmm.
My dad was at that game.
Mm.
That was 26. When was Jackson born?
You tell me, Aaron Shriver, when was he born?
Well, I don't.
I'm in the middle right now.
I don't think it was
You
that
just
game.
triggered me. No,
Well, I don't think it was the 18 innings.
he
game.
was born in 2014.
That game. So it was May 20th, 2014. Cubs and Yankees played each other because I still have
That's true.
pictures and
In the
video
hospital
of
room.
me holding my son in the hospital
Watching the baseball
watching
game.
the Cubs Yankees play.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. I love that. You know,
Your dad was at the
That's
18
true.
inning game. That's crazy.
That's
dude.
cool.
Yeah, and he said he was with his buddy, and I was pretty jealous. I was in school, but I was pretty jealous he was going to Wrigley, and he's like, about inning 9, I was like, oh, this is going to go into extras, and then about inning 12 or 13, he's like, all right, if they don't do it here, we're leaving, and then they didn't leave. So 18 innings.
What was that? Yeah, by inning 12, I would have been like, I'm out.
I know. I would have been like, all right, I'm getting a little tired, but
That
I
was a
think the
long
longest I've
game.
ever stayed. I don't know how long I've ever stayed, but
I think mine was 13 or 14 innings. Honestly, it was the longest.
if you could get to Chicago, man, I'll take you to a game now. So
Let's
if you
do
can, next summer if you can come out here, just let me know and we'll get tickets. I mean,
Let's do it.
definitely we'll go out and we'll have fun. I'll show you around Chicago and throw on some bulletproof vests. No,
No.
I'm joking.
Well, you
I
never
don't know,
know nowadays.
I don't know. Chicago and New York, like
Been
when I
pretty
was
well.
there, like I actually felt probably just about as safe as in Chicago as I do in New York. Because I mean, I really didn't feel like there's a problem at all. We were walking around Times Square at 11 o'clock at night, dude, and I really felt there was enough police presence and everything else around. But it was just more of the people watching and the interesting people that was around.
So, was this your kid's first time in the city?
It was my wife
Mine
and my
too,
kids first.
yeah.
So I have a serious question because obviously I was following around your Snapchat. So I
Yeah.
see who you were to see if I can figure out a way to just get into you.
We were
But,
everywhere, dude. Everywhere.
we were everywhere. How was your first subway experience doing?
Terrifying. It was awful.
You get lost.
No, no. Let's just open that book. We get to the subway, right? We're like, oh, it can't be that bad.
Yeah,
First of all, we couldn't figure out how to get through the turnstile. Couldn't even get through the turnstile.
We didn't know it maxed out.
We couldn't figure out.
So
no, wait, hold on.
the card maxes out after like
you
3
find out
uses.
you have to buy a card to get through the turnstile, and then I'm like, oh, well, it looks like you could just put a credit card. So I'm like, there's 6 of us. I'm like, my mother-in-law hands me her credit card. I'm like, let me get all the, the kids and the elderly through so I'm tapping I get 5 people through. I go to get myself through, denied.
Oh,
Max limit. You can't buy more than 5 tickets. So then they're on that side. I'm on this side. I can't figure out where the hell I'm going. This poor lady walks up and she's like, do you need help? I'm like, please.
Didn't she scan her ticket for you?
She tried to get her ticket was out, so she couldn't get me through. So then she's trying to help me buy tickets at this little machine.
And the buttons don't work, right?
Buttons weren't working, so we couldn't even buy. So then I'm like, she's like, I don't know what I guess maybe we'll just buy you a day pass. I'm like, I don't care, just get me through. And then we're like, the train comes and Aaron's like, oh, I think this is our train. And then the train's like, we get on and then we can't figure out where to get off. We have no idea.
So
after about 30 minutes, we're like, screw it. We're getting off wherever we are. And we get off and then we still have to pay for like a $30 Uber because we're like still
crazy
far as hell from where we were going. We're going to Ground Zero is where we were going, I think. Wasn't it?
Yeah, they were going to Ground Zero.
It was awful.
Oh, dude,
it had nothing to do with like I didn't feel uncomfortable. I just
this one time in Chicago,
legit we couldn't figure out how to navigate.
Well, I'm glad you didn't feel uncomfortable though, because that's like the
Well, I mean, it was like the middle of the day. You know what I felt like? Well, you're probably too young for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Like when the lights flicker and then like the what are they called again? What are the ninjas called? The
foot.
The
Foot Clan.
I totally felt like that was about to because it was like dark.
Yeah,
midday.
Anyway, whatever.
There's this time in Chicago. So speaking of subways and L, we have the L here, which is
so much easier.
Ours is more above track, but like they have the route in the train. You just watch along where you're going. This one was just way too confusing when we were on, but it was Easter Sunday. I don't know why. It was so back in my drinking days. I went to a Cubs game, froze my ass off. And we ended up leaving early. Went to the bar. And my wife's like, only thing you gotta do is be home for Easter, whatever.
Easter dinner.
Easter dinner.
That's all I asked.
So I was like, oh yeah. I mean, I'll get on the train. I'll be there. Just that. Freaking, I got on the wrong damn train.
Ended up in like an hour away from our house.
I had to send my dad to come
it's
get
legit
me.
Raining. We gotta get that pipe checked.
I was like, so I really. That's why in New York, I'm like, we're getting off this damn thing. We're just gonna Uber where we're going.
Yeah. It's a very nerve-wracking experience. It's incredibly nerve-wracking. And just for May when you come back, just so you know, it takes Apple Pay.
All right.
Okay, good to know.
Well,
good to
remember
know.
That. We say that we.
I don't know why, and we're both like, look, I'm sure, like, we're both fairly intelligent people. I could. It made no sense to me. The signs were all abbreviated. It was this street to this street, but this street was closed because of like it was so confusing.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't
make
any sense.
The only credit that I take for any ability that I have to get on a subway and get off a subway is because my girlfriend, shout out Kristen, knows exactly how to use the subways.
Awesome. Good for her.
Here,
she pulls them up and she goes,
all day, every day.
That's it. I'm good. And she goes, listen, I remember my first day of work taking the subway or taking the bus and then the train. And I go, am I getting on here? I sent her a picture of the sign up top that says like A, E, C, D, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
She goes, you get on that, you get off at the 4th stop, and then you get directly back on that train, but make sure it's going uptown when you go home. And I'm like, okay. And I was so nervous that I would like, most people like are listening to music, calm. I'm now like that. But then I would like stare at the little dots up top and like, look, you're stopping here, and I'd count it in my head where I stop 1, stop 2, 3, and I get off at 4. Because I was so nervous I was gonna get lost.
That's so funny. They should have and maybe they do.
Well,
and we
I
were
was following an app.
They should have an app that like tracks where you are on a map. So you're like, okay, I know I need to get to this place.
Yeah, but the only problem is we were underground. I had no service.
Oh yeah, that's true. That helps. That's true.
I was following that, but first, and I'm like, it ain't working. Oh, no service.
Oh my gosh, it was interesting. And then we've got a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old, and then his parents, and my kids are screaming because they want donuts, and his parents are already pissed off because they've walked 10 blocks. Like we were like, screw it, we're getting off.
Hey, at least you weren't on the subway during rush hour, because then I would have probably.
Dude, we were in traffic. So our plan was we were trying to get out of there by like 1 or 2, and I was going to take my dad to Bethel, New York, and show him where Woodstock was. I want to go to the old Woodstock grounds and stuff like that. We didn't make it out there because we had to get all the way.
We were trying to get out of New York, and we hit traffic like
half
nothing.
Hour west of Hershey, Pennsylvania is where we were trying to get that day, and we were just trying. But I think we were in New Jersey when we were stuck. It's
interesting because like we're from around Chicago. We go to Chicago all the time, and like it doesn't phase us at all. Like the traffic and the L and.
She was freaking out in the Lincoln Tunnel.
Oh yeah,
like
because
underwater.
Well, we started that. You know that what? Okay, what would you do if? Right? What would you do if? Okay, what would you do? He goes, look at the top. What would you do if water started dripping from
a little line of water?
It is a very, very logical question. I'm not disagreeing with you. I drive cars from the radio station in and out of that tunnel almost daily. And I drive like a Sprinter van in that tunnel, which you can imagine is very nerve-wracking.
Yes.
And one time I'm driving with my coworker, and we're driving down the tunnel, and a droplet of water hits the windshield. And I look at him and I go, no. I'm like, no way.
I'm like having him like, I'm getting sweaty.
Yeah.
I was a drop of water is going to hit you there.
Well, I'm getting drops of water on me now, and I'm waiting for like a pipe to burst. But still, I can only imagine. I probably would have been like, "For that."
Yeah, he goes, "Oh no way!" I'm like, "No shot." And granted, it was not rush hour, and there was no one in front of us, so I took my foot and slammed it on that gas, and we got out of there. And it was scary. I'm not gonna lie.
Going into the city, we went through it. We were okay because it was steady. Like we weren't in traffic. It was just us or whatever. But then coming out, we were like bumper to bumper traffic, and we're like, we
won't survive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be.
Isn't there like some kind of? This
is what Aaron said. Listen to this logic.
There has to be
I love you
safety
so
feature
much. He's like,
somewhere.
there's got to be an exit door. There's got to be. Thank you. I'm like, Aaron.
I'm like in a sub. Like you unscrewed the thing.
It's like you turn the vault and then you can just swim out. I was like, dude, I can't even talk to you right now.
I'm gonna go back to your logic. What is this, Ninja Turtles?
Right?
Hey, like the weed cart was going around New York City, so leave me alone.
That's fair. You know what? That's fair.
I'm like, we're done. We're doomed.
That's fair.
Aaron will never be able to save us from a
There has to be some kind of safety feature or whatever on those things. Isn't there on those tunnels?
You ever see Planet of the Apes where the bridge doesn't move? Like the new one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the new one.
We haven't seen the new one, no.
Mm-mm.
Basically the bridge gets blocked and there's no way out unless you I don't know, wait it out or something. That's what would happen in Lincoln Tunnel. You're stuck. That's just it. That's why it's a tunnel. I mean, I guess there's a way to slide it out, but maybe there's, you know what? I used to play this video game. I think it was honestly Grand Theft Auto. I think there's a good chance it was Grand Theft Auto. And there was an opening in the tunnel, like in one of the.
I'm telling you, there's something somewhere.
Like a secret trap door, maybe.
What's all these doors? Like when you're driving through that tunnel, you see all these doors on like the right hand side. I saw a bunch of doors leading somewhere. So
I think they're just maintenance closets.
Yeah, well, I'd hide in the maintenance closet.
I doubt it was an escape. I doubt it was an escape. Like there's not pods on the outside of the tunnel where you like an escape pod.
There could be stairs going straight up to the top and have like a little
because
island.
You're gonna crawl out of a hole and climb and swim to the top.
Not swim. It might just be like a cylinder. You crawl up and like there's like a little.
Okay,
like,
you're like making me.
And you pop out the manhole at the top of the street.
Like the Teenage Mutant Ninja
Like
Turtles.
nothing
the
happened.
I feel like I'm playing both sides of the field here. I was siding with one, now I'm siding with the other. I don't want to be in the middle of this.
I would go down a 20-minute New York City rabbit hole, but I love it.
I don't want to be stuck between the marriage disputes, so I'm playing with both sides.
It was a cool experience, though. All in all, though, I loved it. Our boys were in awe of New York for sure.
That's cool.
So it was cool.
Well, we'll see you in May.
Hell yeah, dude! I'm ready to do it again, man. I can't wait. I want to stay back where we stayed. I don't know if we'll stay there again. They didn't have that many amenities. We stayed pretty nice. It was like a mile from.
It wasn't.
Times
Yeah,
Square?
It was pretty centrally located. It wasn't, too bad.
So, all right, this second card I pulled. What was the first band T-shirt you felt super cool about wearing to school?
All right. So here's the thing. Like I said, I went to my first concert when I was 17. So I didn't really have any band T-shirts, but I will say when I got to college, I started getting them.
All right. So what's the first one you remember wearing then?
The first one was I think it was a Granger Smith Yeezy T-shirt. And I felt pretty cool wearing it. Now, granted, my Yeezy T-shirt collection has grown since then, and I have a cooler one now. And it's like got a bowl on it, and it's like super loud. Kind of looks like a Def Leppard T-shirt, and it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
But, the first one was definitely like a Yeezy T-shirt. Absolutely.
My first one I remember, I was told to turn it inside out. That I remember because it had a naked girl on the back of it. It was like,
what band was it?
And she had a Psycho Circus. I still have it. We just saw it. The shirt's floating around here somewhere, but it had like she was branded on her ass. It was just the back side of her, but it was not. You couldn't see the front side. It was just the back side.
And you wore it to school?
Oh yeah, my parents even know.
Okay.
What made you think that was a good idea?
Home Alone in the morning. I'd wear whatever, and it was right after I went to my first concert. I'm like, I'm gonna rock a Kiss shirt to school.
Lord help me, I've got two Shriver boys.
I had one shirt that I used to wear to school that went missing really fast when my mom figured out what it was. But it said free hand lotion pump here with an arrow pointing down.
Oh my god. Moving on.
And she's like, "You wore that to school?" I'm like, "Yep," I never saw that shit again.
That would be
the word for that is eccentric. That's the word.
All right, this next section, I call it Connecting Melodies with Memories. I'm gonna play like 4 little bits of songs. You might know them, but the very first memory. Are you breaking things over there? The very first memory you have that comes up with this song. Go ahead and just we'll spit it out. Dancing over there. I had to go with a high school song for you. So Justin Timberlake, Can't Stop the Feeling. I had to go song. I'm like, all right, this has to be around high school for you.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
You hear that song, man? Where does it take you?
That was loud.
Honestly, in a very weird way, I think it takes me. It is high school. It's 100% high school, and I think the one memory that sticks out in my head about listening to that song is So I was in my high school media, classes, right, where we filmed videos, edited. That's kind of where I started kind of dabbling into this kind of stuff. But we shot a whole video. We basically had like the NFL. So the Super Bowl was at MetLife one year, and we had the NFL come to our high school, and we filmed like this whole video for them. And it started in like the front section of the school, and it went around the whole school. We had the whole school in these hallways, and like there was mascots there, and there were all these things there. And they played that song for the video, and like I was like part of the class, so I like had to like be at certain checkpoints, like be really like loud and energetic, and that's the song that they played. And I'm now just remembering this. If you asked me about that yesterday, I probably would have been like, "When was that?" But that song just.
You hear that song? That's why I wanted to start this, man. I want to start somewhere. The minute you hear this song, it's going to take you somewhere, and that's where you remember. Yeah, that's funny because like when I went to broadcasting school, we did VHS. We had to splice it together. We cut it and literally spliced it together, and that was our editing. That was our video editing when I first started. I'm not even lying. Like I know back in the day they did like the whole like the reels, like the 8mm or whatever. But we literally would cut VHS tape, splice it together, and then we would put it in a dual VHS, and we'd play it and hit record on the other one, and then
record a new video,
clean cut from the new VHS.
Yeah.
And then we re-record over the old stuff.
Oh
Wait till I go through these totes my mom's bringing home. She has a tote of all VHS tapes, and all they say is MTV 1998.
Oh my god.
So I think all I did was record MTV in 1998. I want to see what the hell I was recording.
You know what's funny? We're so like overtime. Sorry for keeping it. But you know what's funny? is that kids now have no idea what it means to like have to like wait for anything, right? Like with TV, like my kids are like, I'm like, oh, it's a commercial. They're like, what?
Just fast
Like,
forward.
what's a commercial? Pause it.
Skip it.
And like, remember, like we had to like, I mean, I remember when TiVo came out, we were like, what? You can record that. You didn't have to record a VHS or a mixtape where you had to like record your tape off the radio, right?
Well, see, my thing was you have to call the radio station to request the song you want to hear and then wait for the damn asshole to play
and then
it.
you had to record it. Yeah. Like,
and then you hit record and hope you got it right on
we're
time.
so old. No idea.
No, you're not old.
CD player.
We're nostalgic.
You're not old. You got wisdom.
Yeah,
right?
but we can't run the subway.
Dude, that's why I tell the 80-year-olds at work. So
there you go.
I tell them you're not old, you're just wiser. All right, go ahead and play the next one. You're gonna love this one.
Yeah.
I had to throw some Clay Walker in there for you. So when you hear Clay Walker, especially this song, where does it take you, man?
I mean, listen, like I probably can't pinpoint an exact memory, but besides the fact that when I knew Clay Walker was coming on my show, I listened to every single Clay Walker song for probably an entire week, and that's all I listened to. And it was probably the most. It gives you know when like you know something's coming up and like you want to like prepare for it and you get butterflies in your stomach. That's how I felt sitting there listening to Clay Walker, and I had the biggest smile on my face every single day. In my car, Clay Walker. That's it. Because one, I wanted to be really ready to ask him whatever I wanted to ask him, and two, just the fact that I love the guy and I loved it. So that's cool. I love that song. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, go ahead and play the next one, babe. We had to throw this one on there.
To his face I see
Sinners Church.
Standing alone.
So where does this song take you?
Sinners like me.
Damn, church, man. Well, first off, I think that record is probably one of the greatest records. But I also, that probably takes me to about let's say senior year of college, right? Going through a little bit of a rough time. Had some transition things go on, and I went to music, and like most people do when they have rough times, and I went to music and kind of dove into church pretty aggressively, and that was one of the songs that I was like, damn, this song's crazy. And I've obviously listened to it before, but I think that there's a thing about hearing music and really listening to music. I started listening, and pretty cool. So that that song means a lot to me. So does that whole album.
I love that, man. Oh, dude, it's one of the best, dude. There's so many, like Hardway, dude. Song on the album that sticks out, man. I just love it. All right, so this next one, before you play it on, I don't know how you feel about this artist. I know a lot of people are like love him, hate him, whatever, but I think he's probably one of the better songwriters we have right now out there. Just amazing songs he's belting out. And honestly, when we talk about Sinners, I feel like this song is like our version of Sinners today. So go ahead and play that real quick. Hardy, Heaven Some Hell, man.
Hardy, in my personal opinion, is probably, you're right, he is the one of, if not the best songwriters in country music right now. I think we all can agree with that. We all think Hardy is just absolutely captivating. And, I remember when I stumbled across Hardy and was like, what the heck is this? Because he doesn't have the typical look, right?
Yeah.
He's got that different look.
The glasses, like the dirty beard almost.
The long hair, and he wears the Jordans all the time. And you're just like, what is this, right? And I don't know. I remember listening to that song, and it was like the sound, that song. Well, that song, and then his previous record before that have been like the soundtracks of my summers for the past like couple of years. So the first thing I think about there is windows down, sunshine, sunglasses on, listening to some Hardy. That's awesome.
Hell yeah, man. I love that. So, all right, man. Well, before we wrap up and before we let you go, we got to play our hot seat game. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. We're going to try to do it in 60 seconds. We'll see what happens, but we'll see what happens. The first CD you ever purchased?
Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run.
What was your favorite thing to do as a kid?
Play stickball.
Yeah. Who has the best pizza you ever had?
Oh my God. Frank Pepe's in West Hartford, or Hartford, Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut.
All right. The strangest thing you've ever seen in the middle of the road.
Oh, 2 turkey vultures eating a squirrel.
Ooh. What was the first car you ever owned? I think you answered this earlier, but
Navy blue 2006 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
oh yeah, man. What's one thing people buy that you feel is a waste of money?
Oh, damn. Waste of money. Pencils. I don't know.
Ooh, okay. We're in the holiday season. What's your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Oh, all right. I liking that. What did you want to be when you were a kid? When you were say, when I grow up, I want to be this.
I want to be Derek Jeter. Obviously, that didn't pan out.
What is your favorite microwavable food?
Oh man, probably really weird. Either like those quick microwavable mac and cheeses, or like those weird mini White Castle burgers.
Dude, those White Castle burgers are dangerous, especially those little. I'll go through a whole box of them, dude.
They're dangerous the night of, the aftermath, and the morning after.
Morning after is what
That's why I said it. That's why they're my favorite.
I'm actually on. We have White Castle stores here and stuff. I'm on a White Castle break because every now and then you got to take a break from something. Like if you eat too much of it, and I was just like, all right, I need a White Castle break for a minute.
Well, I worked till 2:30 last night, or in the morning, I guess, and I ate White Castle last night.
Oh yeah,
because it was the only thing that was open until 3 a.m.
When I go to see church and he plays till midnight, the only thing you can find around normally is a White Castle or a Waffle House. So one of the two. So my last question on all of these, you got to interview Clay Walker. I shared a picture of you and Garth, just really cool. You've done some really cool stuff, and you're still so young. What do you have on your bucket list, man? Something that you want to, something that's going to make you just feel accomplished with life that you really want to achieve one day.
You know what? That's a really good question. I think that for me, if I can, and this is going to sound so dumb, I guess, but if I could somehow just keep doing what I'm doing, loving what I'm doing, and having fun doing it while also making these memories, that would be awesome. I think another stupid little bucket list is that I really want to meet Eric Church, and I really want to just kind of pick his ear for a second because I just want to talk to him. But all in all, if I can keep doing what I'm doing, even if it's doing this for 10 people or 100 people or however many amount, it doesn't matter to me as long as I'm still having fun and keeping the dream alive. Bucket list item is to just kind of keep having fun, enjoying life in 10 years. So I really stand behind the fact of Matthew McConaughey said this one good thing once is that he had a conversation with someone and they asked him who his hero was, and he said it was him in 10 years. And then, a few years later, 10 years later, he said, "Did you reach your goal?" He said, "No." And he said, "Then what's the point?" He said, "I'm never going to be my hero, and I'm never going to obtain what I want to obtain, and I can always have room to grow." So I think that's my biggest thing, is that as long as I'm having fun doing what I'm doing and loving life, and still reaching for the stars, you're not losing there. You're always winning. So
wouldn't that be one hell of a guy to interview? Like I always thought.
Hell yeah. I love
I would just get lost and because some of the things he's done, I love the hero thing. I've heard that many times. I'm like, I love that because you're always setting goals like what you like. I have a to-do list and I'll never finish that to-do list. I always have stuff on that to-do list because it always keeps pushing me to keep doing more things and keep it out there. Almost like you said, it keeps me being my next person I want to be, or putting me in the direction I want to go.
How people always say don't meet your heroes, and that's the thing. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but something, and the only reason why I answered the question the way I answered it was because, the way I see it is what's a bucket list item? If I say in 10 years, I want to be able to sit down, talk to Garth and have him on a podcast, or I want to be able to, do my podcast full time, or, have my own radio show, this, that, and the other thing. Once I achieve that, where else is that growth? You know what I'm saying? I think I have the full, capability of achieving what I want to achieve. But, if I don't get there for whatever reason, I'm not a failure. And if I do get there, then there's no room to grow. So as long as I, keep striving for what I want to strive for, and shooting for the stars,
Well, dude, if there's anything I could ever do for you, let me know, because honestly, we're in the same boat, dude. I've told Bobby this with Backstage Bobby and a few others, Matt Burrell, Nick Tressler from Razor Rowdy. We're all doing the same thing. I mean, I don't see any competition between any of us because we're all in the same boat and we just want to share damn good music.
Yeah.
I mean, we all listen to the same radio stations and hear the same 10 songs a lot. And there's so much good songs and stuff coming out of Nashville. And we're really coming out just anywhere with country music. Canada, dude, is on fire right now. Austin is just insane right now. But anything that when we can work together or anything on anything, let me know, dude, because I'm in your corner as much as I know you're in mine. And I love what we do, all of us. I mean, we are doing something cool. We all bring something different to the table, which is
100%.
It was so bad. So
it's all fun, right? It's all fun, and we're all friends, and that's the best part.
I love
it. In this little country music community, who would have thought, right?
We'll all do something together. I know Tressler and Matt Burrell we talked about doing something together. I'm like, dude, we just all of us, everybody that does anything like kind of like this, like that does podcasting in Nashville or country music stories like this, we just all need to come together in time and have a big ass event or something.
Yeah, I agree. It would be awesome. That would be awesome. It really would be awesome.
So, well, man, I know we went way over tonight. I don't care. But
we knew we were going to. Let's be honest.
I knew we'd go a little over. I didn't think 45 minutes. But we had fun. Well, the 20-minute New York discussion.
I was gonna say I kind of went off on a tangent for a little bit.
At least I know what to expect when we go back. So
that's right. That's right.
Not to take the subway.
I'll probably stay a lot of Madison Square Garden because that'll probably be the day I got to wait in line all day. That'll probably be the only day of this tour I'll wait in line.
All right.
So
I really hope I get those tickets. I'm really shooting for them. But
we'll have to look up. Well, let me look because there's a group. I'll add Kyle to groups.
Yeah, please do. Especially the vinyl group because I really need to.
Vinyl and MSG. So I know there's a Madison Square Garden group, and then I'll get you on the vinyl group too. Because you guys put on there what you're looking for ticket if anything comes available. Someone will definitely, and that's one good thing about the choir. They always say, "Hey, I got an extra this and that. Who's willing to take it?" Man, I'm seeing people in the choir the day of, like, "Hey, I can't sell it. Anybody want a seat upgrade or want this ticket? It's yours. Just first one to claim it."
People are super, super kind.
We'll get you a ticket from Madison Square Garden.
I'm excited.
Now we'll sneak you in somehow.
There you go.
And I'll get arrested.
Someone put me in one of those duffel bags that your parents gave you with all the stuff.
Yeah. Here you go.
Now these days, you got to watch out carrying those things around. They'll be like, "What you got in the bag, dude?"
Yeah.
So, all right, dude. Well, you be good, man. You take care. And I'm sure we'll definitely see each other in May, if not sooner than that, dude. So,
absolutely, guys. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
What you're doing, man. You're doing good things. I love watching what you're doing, man. So,
thank you. I appreciate it. You guys are doing awesome, and thanks for having me on. It was nice to be on the other side of the mic, and I wasn't as intimidated as I anticipated. I was.
See, we tried to make it pretty easy.
It worked out really good. Yeah,
you guys do awesome. You guys do awesome. Keep doing your thing. I appreciate it.
All right, Kyle. You have a great night, man. Thank you again.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Enjoy.
Man, have a good one. All right, man. That was fun. That was a fun show. It redeemed me from last week. I felt a little rough after last week's episode. I think last week we just we hadn't had a show
in so long. I was sick. I didn't feel well. It was just a rough. But you know what? Hey, that's life.
Tonight was awesome. I loved.
He's so fun.
Oh my
God,
he
was cool.
Awesome. I wish we got hooked up in New York, but we will in May. So I'm gonna have to try to find him a ticket or something with us.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be fun. We'll have a good time. So tomorrow night we're coming back. We have another show tomorrow night. I cannot wait to talk to this guy. Another young one, but this guy is definitely on the path to some huge things. So thank you guys again for joining us. And yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. See you guys tomorrow night.
The Gainin' Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver is brought to you by Arlo Revolution. As we close the book on another chapter, remember, music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Next week, Aaron connects more melodies and memories with other fans and the artists they love. Thanks for being a part of this musical journey, and we'll see you next time on the Gainin' Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver.